Okay, so that was just a little mindfulness exercise, just a little way for you to see that when we can just quickly, for a second, think about one of the happiest moments in our lives, then that alone can help us to access that feeling of joy and peace that we might have. So I just want to show this stress scale. Hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to access this. I'm going to have to re-share the screen. I wanted to show you the stress scale of how we might feel when we're stressed. And I'm starting to feel stressed right now, trying to get this PowerPoint to work. Laura, do you know how I can get the PowerPoint to move?
Can you try a right arrow?
Yeah, that didn't work.
Or click on the right side of the screen?
Oh, good idea. Okay, that's another option. Thank you. Okay, so use the annotation tool again if you have it to show me where on the stress scale you felt during your happiest moment. Go ahead and mark that, or if you don't have access to it, go ahead and just type it in the chat. So I know for me, I was down at joyful peace. I like to think of course, the day that I got married, one of the happiest moments in my life. And just that joy and the peace and the calm that I felt. Okay, awesome. Now I want you to use a different stamp. Use the star stamp to show me how you're feeling right now in your situation. I have to admit I'm feeling a bit tense because of that issue with the slideshow. Okay. All right, so we've got some tenseness and maybe even some feeling of burnout, which is totally understandable given all the stressors in our lives right now, right? Okay, so what we're going to do today is talk about lots of great tools that can help you, self-care tools to reduce your stress. And I'm going to just have you quickly either chat or put in here as an annotation what areas in your life are stressful right now. Is it family responsibilities? Is it work? Is it juggling family and work? Is it...
You might have to clear the past annotation.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Okay.
Excuse me, I don't know how to get the stamp and take it to where, you're asking us to put it somewhere, but I don't know how to.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tracy. Don't worry about it. Okay, if you have a comment, just put it in the chat if you know how to do that, or you're welcome to.
It wasn't a comment. I thought we were supposed to put the stamp somewhere. So.
Yeah, well, for this one, you can go ahead and write something in so you can use text.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So you could write family responsibilities.
Okay.
Whatever it is that is stressful right now in your life, go ahead and type it in. And if you can't use annotation, just type it in the chat and Laura will put it in for me. Okay, we have never ending. Yeah, we have a lot of stressors in our lives that feel like they're never going to end, right?
Yeah, feel free to chat it in and I'll type it for you.
Okay.
Yeah, chat it in, or you can even unmute and tell me. Taking care of all the household chores. Yeah, that feels never ending, right?
COVID-19.
COVID-19.
Yes.
Yep. It's a big stressor. Work, pandemic, election. Yeah, balancing work and home, schooling, to-do lists. Okay, motivating my students. Yeah, motivation is hard. Work uncertainty. Yeah, a lot of us have that. Okay, maintaining relationships. That's something that we're always having to be aware of, right? Okay, I can't quite read that one. Groceries or people. I'm guessing quarantined at home. Being able to get groceries and see people. Is that right? Okay, finances, work. Okay, we're all experiencing these stressors. I have 5 kids at home. Well, actually, one of them just left for a 2-year mission. But, you know, for 6 months, 7 of us were at home together. And yeah, that's a big stressor. So yeah, I can relate to a lot of these things. Okay, let's go ahead and clear this. Okay, so self-care, that's really just a broad term for taking care of our own needs, whether it's emotional, mental, spiritual, physical, or social. And when we take care of our own needs, that gives us the energy that we need to manage our stress and to take care of our loved ones and the responsibilities that we have in all of our lives. And Tracy, who's on the call today, she has reminded me so much that self-care is not selfish. It's really just an important part of our lives. I like to think of the oxygen mask analogy. You know, we have to put that oxygen mask on ourselves first in order to be able to help those around us. And some important self-care practices are, number 1, to be able to manage our daily stressors. Also, there's mindfulness and meditation, social support, treating yourself, which is sometimes something we often neglect. And then, of course, taking care of our physical bodies. So getting enough sleep, exercise, and nutrition. And if you think about all of these things that we know we're supposed to do, but don't often do, they fill us with the energy that we need to be able to get through our day. So I feel like they're really important. We're going to talk a lot today about managing our daily stressors. And how we respond to those daily stressors is actually linked to inflammation in the body, future chronic health issues, and even how long we live. So I feel really passionate about this because it's such an important issue, one that we often don't even know how to handle. So I'm going to give you some really helpful tools today. Okay, my experience is with family science. And in family science, we have a really basic but important model of family stress. It's called the ABCX model. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you do math, but it's really basic, and you just have to remember 2 things. And if there's anything that you take away from this webinar, I hope it's these 2 things, to remember: reframing and resources. So how you view or frame the situation and how you use your available resources determines how high your level of stress is. Let me give you an example. Okay, I had a client who came to me. She was completely overwhelmed and distraught. Her boss had just yelled at her. She made a huge mistake. She was going to have to face, you know, all the people that the mistake involved, and she just didn't know what to do. And so as I talked to her, I helped her to reframe the situation, to see it as an opportunity for her to grow and to learn from that mistake, and also to see that she was capable of solving this issue. So she used her inner resources of capability and resilience. And it was only a 10-minute call, but it was amazing to see how much of a difference it made in her, for her to come away feeling empowered and to feel like she could handle this really hard situation. Okay, so I want you to look at this picture. Can I get a volunteer to tell me just, you know, what do you see in this picture, just at first glance? Tracy?
Yeah, I see. Oh, are you picking on me?
Yes, I am. Okay, what do you see?
Well, I see I just tend to describe every detail, but lightning and clouds toward the top half of the mountain.
Yeah,
And there's
can
an
raise your
ocean that
hand
seems
here.
really,
Raise your hand.
that
Oh, I'm
ocean's
sorry,
really
somebody
got
has
big
their
waves.
microphone on. Sorry, Tracy.
Sorry, that's me.
That's okay. Okay, go ahead, Tracy.
And
So you see the light.
I'm thinking that might be a crocodile or alligator because of the way the eye looks, but I'm not sure why that sign says this way.
Okay. So you see the
And then the
sign.
person looks, to me, the person looks a little puzzled, like they're scratching their head, like, what do I do?
Yeah, right. Okay, good. You're very observant. Okay, can I have one more volunteer? Tell me what you see in this picture.
Well, I see a hiker trying to climb up the mountain.
Okay, so to you, that looks like the hiker is going to climb up the mountain. Okay, so you see that we're all looking at the same picture, but we all kind of see things a little bit differently. We recognize different things. And that's just the same way with life, you know. It's not the situation that's actually stressful, it's how we see it. So that's what reframing is all about. And it's also hard to see because it's all black and white and dark, right? Okay, so now look at this picture. I've reframed it. So it looks a little brighter. It's a little bit easier to see what's going on. It still looks like a challenge, right? But maybe it's a little bit easier to handle now that you can see things a little more clearly. And I also chose this picture because it reminds me a little bit of 2020. It's like, you know, what more can go wrong, right? Except we should have added like wildfires, hurricanes, riots, what else, you know, masks. There's a lot going on. So it's no wonder that all of us are feeling kind of this overwhelm. Okay, but I wanted to share 4 different tips that I had for reframing. First one, focus on your strengths and capabilities. So think to yourself, I am strong and capable. I can do this. And that's what happened with the client that I was helping, where her boss got mad at her. She came away feeling that she was strong and capable. Okay, number 2, make meaning of the situation. This challenge is going to build my resilience. I have a parenting client who, you know, is trying to help her son navigate through online school. And, you know, he just started high school and he has special needs and he's not getting those needs met. And so she's been helping him to see, you know, this is hard. It's really hard. You're not getting your needs met, but think of it as a learning experience and an opportunity to build your resilience. Okay, third is focus on what you can control. I just have to take one step at a time, right? That hiker just has to take one step at a time to get to where he needs to be. There was a client that I had who came to me just feeling this huge energy drain from work. You know, she was just swamped, and every day she would finish work just having no energy for anything else. And as we were talking, she realized, you know, it wasn't all of work that was an energy drain. And so we pinpointed what was actually causing that. And she said, well, it's really the one-on-one meetings that are the energy drain. And then she said, well, it's not all of them. It's just the ones where they come, you know, unprepared without an agenda. And so then she realized all she needed to do was ask those team members to come to the meetings prepared with a simple agenda. So that was one little step that she could take to reduce her stress. Okay, the last reframing tip is to have hope for the future. And we've all had to take this perspective, right? I'm going to be laughing about this, or this will hopefully be a distant memory 5 years from now, right? Just having that perspective, yes, there is hope that things will improve. Okay, remember the second R is utilize your resources. And so, you know, I've already talked about inner resources of resilience and strength, capability, recognizing what your talents and your gifts are that will help you. So in this picture, I added in some resources that maybe, you know, maybe he didn't recognize before. So there's this guide that's going to help him along the way. There's a bridge so he can get over that river. There's that cabin. So all of these resources, maybe you don't realize are there to help you. If you are spiritual, of course, you have prayer that can help you. Family and friends, you know, challenges aren't meant to go through alone. We need to have that support. And then, of course, we all have time and money as resources. And if we can use those wisely, that can help us to cope with our stress. And I had to put TaskHuman. TaskHuman is a great way to actually be able to gain that perspective and to learn about more resources that can help with stress management. And then we all have community resources, whether they're online or locally. Especially right now, I feel like there are so many resources that are being given to us because of COVID. So I'm really grateful for that. Okay, let's just do a little activity. And if you can't access the annotation, feel free to unmute your microphone and tell us. We can put it in or put it in chat. So I want you to think of a recent time when you felt a lot of stress, or maybe you're feeling a lot of stress right now. And think about how you can reframe or change your perspective about that situation. So go ahead and type in. You don't have to be specific, if it's really private, then of course don't share anything too private. But just tell us one thing that you could say to yourself that can help you to have maybe a more positive perspective. And I'm not going to type in because every time I do that, it messes up my slideshow. So I will wait for you guys to. But while you're thinking, I did want to, okay, let me go ahead and read what was written here. I always get through it, even if I feel anxious. Nice, I love that. Yeah, it's great to think about past experiences of when you got through a really stressful experience, and that can help you to get through whatever you're going through right now. Okay, anybody else? I was going to share an experience from with my daughter. Oh, okay, here's some more good ones. Take one day at a time. Yeah, great. Try to sit back and write a plan to tackle the situation. That's great. Writing a plan always helps with stress. I always make a list of the problem and list options. Nice. Okay, somebody already put resources. Yeah, go ahead and feel free to put what resources you can use. Walks outside, fresh air. Yes, being out in nature has been shown to help reduce stress for sure. Okay, another reframing one. I'm capable of communicating with my mentally ill son. I love that. I've recently lost my job, but found a part-time job to hold me over until I find full-time employment. In the meantime, the silver lining is that I have more time to focus on grad school. That's great. I love that. You can always find the silver lining, right? Okay, talk to friends and family, chat with a friend. And the great thing about those resources is they can help you gain that perspective, right? And a lot of times it's good to think, okay, what would my best friend tell me in this situation? And that can help you to reframe. Okay, what other resources do you use? Focus on what subjects and activities my son and I have in common. Great, yes. Zoom meeting with group of friends every other week. Oh, I love that. Yeah, that's great if you're quarantined and not able to see people. Okay. Okay, another reframing. I'm learning how to deal with personalities that challenge me and help me to grow as a leader. Great. Breaking a huge task into a series of smaller, more manageable tasks is very helpful. Yes, that definitely helps me as well. I tend to get overwhelmed, and when I break it into small tasks, definitely makes it feel more manageable. Okay, let's move on. I might have to.
Kate, I have a comment. I read it somewhere that somebody suggests that you just give yourself like 15 minutes, put a timer on, just concentrate on complete one task in 15 minutes, like clean up a file in your file cabinet or something.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Make you feel a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it gives you a time limit, so it doesn't feel like such a big job, right? Okay, I love that. Thank you. Okay, so daily self-care practices are so important. Just having that routine in your life. And so I want you to think about what fills you with energy, joy, and peace. And we've already talked about some of these things. So mindfulness and meditation, I love that because that fills me with the peace that I need every day. Social support and treating yourself. So take time for yourself and your own needs. And then of course the physical body, taking care of, getting enough sleep, exercise, and nutrition. So I wanted to just share, or just have us share some of your favorite ways that you practice self-care. Maybe you have a mindfulness exercise that you do every day. Maybe you go on walks with your friend every day. I need to work personally more on the fun part, so I'd love ideas for how to have that as more routine in my own life. Okay, going to the gym, good. That can motivate you, right? Okay, sports, yeah. And I love how, a lot of fun things we do that can also include exercise or social support or both, right? Walking outside and spin class, hikes, time with niece. Yeah, fun doesn't just have to be doing something by yourself, right? It can be doing things with the people that you love. Practice qigong and yoga, nice. Okay, walk chatting with a long distance friend. I love doing that. Cuddling with my dogs, nice. Oil paint, great. Yeah, spending time on your hobbies, that's great. Make people aware when you're struggling. Yes, that's important. Movies and series. And something I love to do is, my husband doesn't really like chick flicks, but I love them. And so I love to watch chick flicks while I'm exercising on the elliptical. That's really the only way that I enjoy exercising. Okay, reaching out to check on friends. Yes. Yeah, and reaching out to others is a great way to not only receive give social support, but receive it. Yoga with daughter in the evening. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, one of my clients does yoga with her kids, and that's so good for everyone. Oh, do you have a comment?
Yeah, because I can't type it or I don't know how
Oh,
to.
yeah. Go ahead, Lexi.
Mindfulness meditation, for me, music it helps me with that.
I love that. Yeah, and that could go under fun too, right? Because that's a hobby, but it really does help you to feel that peace inside when you do music.
I'd like to say something.
Go ahead, Tracy.
Okay, so my husband and I were really angry at each other yesterday. And finally, I said, I'm ready to not talk about this anymore. And I walked in the other room, and I don't normally take time to practice music, even though I call myself a musician. I don't really practice much. But I walked into the piano and I started playing whatever I could play, no matter how simple. And it did make a difference.
Nice. Thanks for sharing that. I do
was
that.
able to focus on that,
Yeah, I know. Just focus on that, nothing else. It is so calming. I know I had to do that the other day when I was really upset with my teenager, and that really calmed me. Yes, I love using music. Okay, did I miss anything? Oh, play piano and bridge. Yes, those are fun. Great. Okay, let me clear that. And we just have one more slide, because I know that we all know that it's important to take care of ourselves, but why is it so hard? So this is just the last thing I wanted to touch on. What obstacles do we face with trying to follow those self-care routines every day? And what advice would you give on how to overcome those obstacles? So go ahead and type in or share with us over the mic what obstacles you have faced and how you have overcome them.
Can I share something, Kate?
Yes, go ahead.
I think one of my biggest obstacles, which is also one of my greatest joys, is being a mom because I'm not good at putting myself first. I always put my kids first and then I fall behind in things. And so I'm not very good at that. It's something I'm really trying to work on. So it's an obstacle, but at the same time, it also makes me happy. And as far as overcoming it, I'm trying really hard to like manage my time wisely, to plan my days out so that things, you know, if my kids need me for something, I can say, okay, let me help you tonight, like after 5, or let me, you know, get back to this because I'm working on something, instead of stopping what I'm doing all the time to accommodate them.
I love that. Thanks for sharing that. I've had to learn that as well because I have a tendency to ignore my own needs and put my kids first. But a lot of times we have to help them to see that we have boundaries and that we need to take care of our own needs. Thanks for sharing that, Laura. Okay, I'm learning how to relax and worry about me. Good. I end up being last on my list. Yeah, we just talked about that. Lack of motivation. Okay, so how can we be more motivated? Like, how can we be more motivated to exercise or to get outside? Any thoughts about that?
That was me. Well, I was trying to
Okay.
type in, but not having enough time. Anyway, I think it helped is if I can keep a routine and then keep the commitment. So like in the morning, I supposed to do this and that, and then I got it done, you know, so keep a routine will help.
Great, thank you. Yeah, and I like to also pair it with something that I'm already, you know, doing every day. If I remember, okay, every day I take, well, every school day, I take my daughter to school a lot of times, and so I'll do my mindfulness while I'm driving. And that helps me to remember, or just whenever I'm driving in the car by myself. Okay, let's see. Difficulty overcoming guilt when I set time aside for self-care. Okay, yeah, I had to overcome that. And Tracy was huge about that in helping me to realize, like, no, it's not selfish to take time for yourself. And so that's important to remember that, like, this is your health that we're talking about. And when you take time for yourself, then you have that energy and health to take care of others. Okay, currently working with a therapist via Zoom. Oh, great. Okay, journal, remember how I handled the situation and how it made me feel. Oh, I love that. Yeah, so looking back and remembering that it helped. Get family involved in activities, which helps me relax, like go on a hike together. Oh yeah, that's great. So doing activities that will help you and your family. Remember the benefits of exercise helps me resist slothfulness. Yes. So it's good to always think about the why, like, why do I need to do this? Because we want to have that energy, or we want to have that joy that comes in our lives when we do take care of ourselves. Okay, knowing, I'm sorry, it kind of got cut off here.
Knowing if I want to feel better, I would rather do something to help me than to hurt me.
Okay, great. Now that's really important to remember. Okay, good. And I just also, you know, a little plug for TaskHuman. You could have a coach, you know, help you to be accountable for whatever daily self-care you want to incorporate in your life. Thank you for sharing, everybody. So I want you to just challenge yourself to think of what you can do to have more self-care in your life. And just think about one small thing you can change and add to your daily routine. And I promise you that that will help you to reduce your stress and to be able to get through these challenging times. Okay, back to you, Laura. Thanks.
Thank you, Kate. One thing I just want to say and thank everybody for being here and staying on and participating is it's so nice to see everybody else and what they share, so you don't feel so alone in what you're feeling. And that, I think, is the power of what we just experienced. So I hope everybody does feel that. Are there any questions for Kate from anybody out there in terms of self-care, lowering stress, anything like that? No? Well, then I'm going to be able to show everybody the TaskHuman app that Kate so amazingly plugged a few times. So on the screen, you're seeing my phone, and this is the TaskHuman app. This is your one-on-one access to video coaching for anything self-care related. So everything we just talked about today, you can find a coach just like Kate. And if you want to find Kate, you can find her too on this app. So if you really want to focus on yoga, something that a lot of people mentioned, tap on the tile of yoga. The two people with the green dots are literally available right now for a call, and you can access your own live yoga session from the comfort of your home with a coach. So if you press that call button, you're going to be asked what topic you want. And then we're going to say, okay, how long do you want your call for? And if I click connect now, Kelly will be on the other side of my screen via video call, and I will just prop my phone up and be ready for a yoga session. So that is one aspect to wellness that you can have a coaching call for. There's stretching, clean eating, anything you can think of on here. And if you really are looking for Kate, you click on the search, toggle it over to provider, and then just type in Kate's name, find her, and then you can view her schedule as well. So looking below, the blue boxes are when she has availability. And if I click on that, you can then book a time with her. Say you're trying to manage stress. You then click what start time you want and how long you want your call to be. And then you verify the booking, and at the time, the app will remind you to make that call. So this is really your access to, think of Uber meets FaceTime is kind of how I like to say it. And coaches who are available now, you can call right now. And then coaches for any topic that you want, you can either request a session for or book a session for later in the day with them. And then we have a full-blown concierge as well. So if you're ever confused as to how to use the app or what coach to pick, or you're looking for a coach for a certain topic, you can just reach out to our concierge. It is our CEO, so I give you full permission to bombard him with questions if you want. And we will literally try to find the best coach for you, answer any questions, and take any feedback as well. So my last piece of information is that you're not limited to the topics that are on this screen. If you don't see a topic you want, you can tap on the search button. And here are some trending searches, but you can also type in feelings. So if you don't necessarily know what the topic is that you're searching for, but you know that you're feeling bloated, you can type in feeling bloated and find bloating coaches that can help you figure out why you're feeling bloated. Okay. If you're feeling angry, same thing. You can type in how you feel and find coaches who can help you with those sentiments. So anything and everything that you want in terms of self-care, wellness, and well-being is right in this app. And after this session, I will be sending out a recording of the session as well as a download link. Many companies have discounts that are available to them. If you want it and you want your company to be associated with TaskHuman, feel free to let us know. You will get a download link, and we will be happy to help you find a coach for you. Now, are there any questions on the TaskHuman app?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're interested in a certain coach, is there somewhere you can look up their experience and their education in that area?
Yeah. So what I would recommend there is, for example, if you're looking for Kate, for any coach, you have the ability to chat with them. So you could just pick up a chat and say, hi, Kate, I was looking for help in time management. I was just wondering what your experience was in that and how you would handle a situation like this. We really want people to be able to find coaches that fit their style. So however you want to talk to somebody is up to you. I asked a coach, how long would you recommend for a first session? And that was how I kind of got connected with that person. Some coaches have access to their personal websites as well, and you can look at that and see what their experience is from there. But I always recommend chatting and, feeling out coaches. And we want people to find their fit. So the idea is to find your dream team of coaches. And then once you make calls, your reconnect screen is really where you can have quick access to the coaches that you have made calls with.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Anyone else?
Great job, Kate.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, that was wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so happy you guys liked it.
Yes, it was very clear and well put. Yes.
Thank you. Sorry about the tech issues, but I'm learning.
Oh, no, it
There's a
was
lot to
great.
learn on Zoom.
Very few tech issues, don't worry. Well, if nobody has any more questions, we can close out the session. I want to say thank you again to everybody who attended, who participated. Hopefully you got some great insight and some strategies for yourself to work on some self-care practices. Again, if you want to reach out to Kate, please do in the TaskHuman app. You will receive a download link. For those who don't have the app, you'll get a link and it'll offer you 30 free minutes. So you can use all those minutes on Kate. You can split them up to any coach that you want. It's all up to you how you use them. So with that, thank you all. Thank you, Kate, and enjoy the rest of your day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for coming.
Take care, guys.